Oh, hi. I'd like I'll have a donut. Two donuts.
Two donuts.
Fine. 6 donuts.
6 donuts. Oh.
Yeah. I guess I'm just hungry.
Wait. What do you got in there? Is that a little kitty?
What? No, there's nothing in there.
Yeah, in there. No, it's a little kitty, isn't it? Let me see.
No. It's nothing.
Oh, come on. I want to see the
promise,
little kitty.
No, I didn't bring a little.
I
it's
love
not a little kitty.
kitties,
I swear to God. No, it's not.
It.
Please get away.
Oh, it's
please.
gotta be. It's gotta be.
Let
me see. Let me get in there.
No.
Hi.
Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. You did great so far.
What's so great is we can just edit.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
The idea of a man coming out and just saying hi.
So now that I'm out of that box, would you guys like to talk about Flora and Ulysses?
Is it all right if I have my friend Matt here watch Flora and Ulysses in this donut diner?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of TVs in back where people play Halo.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Very
it's pretty
cool.
fucking
Cool,
sick.
yeah. Sick, bro. That's how this is ending.
Running fastest, kill outfit. It's futuristic, like Carnegie the Magnificent. Rewind your VCR, rewind your cassette. Nintendo pilots, flying up ahead. Captain's log, John Luke, Bogard. Bummer ride, sea of live, the weather covered shine. Out on your street tonight. Don't matter how loud you gotta shout it. Out on your street tonight.
There you go. 3, 2, 1. Cheaty. David, when's your birthday? I can't remember. December sometime, right?
Mm-hmm. True. All right.
Okay.
What's your guess?
Okay. When I asked that question, you looked up in a way of like you were thinking of when your own birthday was.
I was like, I don't know. When could it be?
Is it 12th?
That's close. I was going to say warmer, but then I was like, no, there wasn't one to compare it to.
How about 9?
Warmer than just December?
The 9th.
The 9th, warmer.
Ooh, okay, so
7th?
Yeah, you got it.
Hey!
Pearl Harbor Day, baby.
A Dave that will live in infamy.
Me, I will
David
live in infamy forever.
infamy.
Yeah, it's a fun day to be born.
Is it?
I mean, like, in terms of comparison to, I don't know, 9/11, it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
it's okay. Like, but
there's a distance.
Yeah,
And I've also known multiple people whose birthday is the same as Hitler's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's also 420, so I feel like it's coming around.
Oh, yeah. It's coming around, baby. Yeah, I'm ready.
They got 2 extremes on theirs.
Yep.
That's true. But at least there's a good one. That's
Yep.
a good point. And like some kids, they're born on Christmas and they don't like that. But
yeah, fucking whiny kids.
But like that's just because Jesus.
Fucking just enjoy your Christmas. Come on.
Ugh, such a greedy God.
He really does muscle out all the other kids' birthday presents.
He does. It's so mean.
Mean.
There's one thing about Jesus that I hate. It's how mean he was. Especially to those wonderful Pharisees. All they wanted to do was help and sell things in the temple. And he got all mad and barged in there and flipped over all their tables. Like a real meanie.
Real meanie. Man. Jesus. Whiny, ungrateful birthday boy. That's the stance we're apparently taking.
Yeah. Which is, conveniently, everybody's got WJD bracelets. Well, we can make WUBB bracelets. WUBB. Whiny, ungrateful birthday boy. WUBB. Also, Jesus, big fan of Skrillex and dubstep in general.
WUBB, 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 WUBB.
It's in the Bible.
WUBB.
It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible, baby. Speaking of which, welcome to Contextual Deviants. My name is Christian Hagen. Each episode, we watch a movie, and then we talk about it through a series of randomly generated critical contexts provided to us via our contextual computer, guiding us through a whole world of possibilities and strange ideas and phrases and goofy good times galore. And joining me on said adventure are my dearest friends and co-host hosts, Misters Matthew Bond.
Hey.
And David Gucci.
There's like 6 D's at the beginning of my name, but I only ever pronounce one, and I appreciate you very much.
It's harder with the M. It's mum. I guess it actually does work pretty well.
Oh, that's nice.
Because then this bird is the word. That's, now that I think about it, bird is the word starts like that. Matthew Bond. Matthew. You
got it. You got it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fun.
Hey, that's fun.
Hey.
By the way,
Hey.
was that long pause before welcome to Contextual Deviants because you didn't necessarily want to use what we led in with?
No, it was because I couldn't think of a joke.
Okay, this is like a really good edit point.
It was a panic moment.
Oh, yeah, one of those. I know those well. My old friend, moments of not thinking of a joke. You know what's amazing is that those often are, they often come right after saying, speaking of.
Yes.
It's like, if I say speaking of, I'll be able to connect it. Well I'll make it work. I trust you, little
Here's
brain.
what speaking
It'll
of
be
is.
fine.
Speaking of is basically just like, this is the end of that part of the conversation. We have to move on. But I don't know where we're going.
We have to move on is not
We have
really
to.
an acceptable thing to say in like a kind of organic conversation, but speaking
Right.
of totally is.
It's like a Lyft driver who hasn't gotten directions on their destination, but they just start driving. They just start going.
Oh, I love that. What a power move.
Yeah. So if somebody gets in the car and like before you can even say like passengers in the car, you just start going.
Just go. And they're like, "Hey,
Just go.
don't you want to know where I want to go?" And I'm the Lyft driver.
no,
and
no,
I say,
no,
"No.
no.
We're going where I want to go."
Yeah.
Thanks for
Who's the
coming
driver
along.
here?
We're going where the spirit moves me. Folks, we're doing a podcast, and the episode we're doing of that podcast this time is about a movie that you can find on Disney Plus. It is the first movie of 2021 that we are doing, which is very exciting.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Yeah, we are doing 2021's Disney Plus original film Flora and Ulysses.
That title, when you say it out loud, it really sounds like a fantasy novel or something. Or
Yeah?
like young adult for sure. Like it's got that vibe absolutely. But Flora and Ulysses, really, it sounds so mythological, and I think Ulysses is carrying a lot of the weight there. To be fair, like the mythological character. I don't know. I did not expect this movie to be about a squirrel. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So the thumbnail of the movie being a squirrel didn't.
I thought it was a mistake. I was like, oh, they just randomly got some clip art in there. Couldn't be about a squirrel.
Toss this clip art CGI squirrel in
Yeah,
there.
classic Disney Plus,
you
where they
do.
just get the first Google image that comes up when you search for a movie, and they just throw it in there. I thought it was that.
They don't even go to Getty Images, it's just Google.
Yeah. That's why. That's why the thumbnail for Captain America: Civil War is a picture of Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah, exactly. Flora and Ulysses S. Grant, on the other hand, hell yeah.
Ooh,
Sign me up, baby.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Put
it
a
didn't even
President
occur to me
Grant
that
in
that's-
it.
Yeah,
It didn't even occur to me that was what was happening. Flora and Ulysses is the fun family adventure of a young girl named Flora who discovers a squirrel who is sucked into a magical Roomba of sorts, like a weird super robot, and develops superpowers, the ability to communicate in English,
Yeah.
the ability to fly, and super strength.
Yeah.
And she then tries to convince people that the squirrel is magic. And she is also trying to keep get her parents back together. They've separated, played by Ben Schwartz and Allison Hannigan. And then, of course, they are chased down by a renegade animal control agent played by Danny Pudi.
Yeah.
It's a romping good time, and we are here to come of age all over this movie. That came out the exact wrong way. The worst possible way that could have come out is how that came out of my mouth.
I'm ready.
But also, there's no way that's not what you wanted.
I know, that's the thing. It's like, it feels like what I wanted.
There was one
but
way,
it's not.
and you chose the one way, and it was the worst way.
Yep.
But you drove down that road, baby.
Yeah. You took
And
that
now,
turn.
I gotta keep it in, because I did it, so...
You got to edge it, baby. You got to keep it in.
God, alright, let's do a context.
Okay.
Explain this movie to aliens.
No!
Now, wait, hang on. Here's where this one is especially interesting, because this one, unlike a lot of ours, is not just about human civilization and like our things.
true.
We're also going to have to teach the aliens about squirrels
And why it's weird that it can communicate.
Exactly. Why it's weird that the squirrel can communicate with the people. Written communication versus verbal communication.
Yeah.
Because the squirrel can't talk, as they make very clear.
No, it can't. Wow.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow.
Okay.
This one is really blowing David's
There's
mind.
a lot. No, there's a lot here. There's just a lot. And I think my instinct is always to try to find the core concept. Like, if we had to break this down to aliens, like, what's the one foundational thing that they need to understand in order to probably get this movie?
Right.
And I think you said it. I think it's that squirrels can't actually talk to humans. Because that's huge. Otherwise, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, there's like marriage, I guess you would have to, like, it's a good vehicle for talking about like what family is in this world.
Family dynamics.
And how potentially you could rope in William as like chosen sort of family as well. Like, I'm talking about that.
Right.
But
I almost forgot about William.
yeah, you can. It's fine. His character is terrible.
Yeah. A character, the whole movie, we were like, is this offensive?
Oh,
I can't
yes.
decide if this is offensive.
One.
Okay.
Oh, it
feels
ableist.
bad.
It's
just how did this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just weird. Quick tangent on William.
Yeah.
Because I will admit, I laughed when he fell down. Like I can't remember what he fell off of, like some kind of ledge or something.
Yeah.
I laughed when that happened.
Yeah.
And I was hoping he'd fall down things more. But I would say about any kid. It had nothing to do with the fact he was blind. I just like watching kids fall down.
That's just something I like.
I wonder if it's like the filmmakers were like trying to figure out how can we make jokes about a character being blind in a sort of kids Mr. Magoo sense without outright making fun of blind people. Well, let's have it be temporary blindness, which is somehow even more infuriating.
Exactly.
It's like it was bad.
They asked the question, how could we make jokes about a blind person being funny but not have it be bad? And they should have said, why are we asking that question? Why do we want this to be a punchline? Good Lord. Yeah, not a good choice, Flora or Ulysses.
Like, how did that come out this year with that shit in there?
It is
it's
really
insane.
crazy.
It's insane.
Well, I'm glad
That's
that we
why
got there
I was
right
like-
away. I'm glad we really got in there right away. Because, he made me very uncomfortable.
Well, because at first he comes in and I'm like, oh, they're having a blind major character. You know, this could actually be something. You know, for a kids movie to have a blind major character who like contributes to things and is actually. But no, he's a complete shithead.
Yeah, and they're all shitty to him.
They're all shitty to him, and I felt like they should have been shittier to him. That's the problem. He's such a piece of shit that like fuck this kid. Yeah. And then he's such a dick, and then he's also like, he's just dumb. Like he's wrong about almost everything. He's snooty. He treats being blind like a superpower in a Daredevil way, which is super
which he's
weird.
wrong
That was probably
about,
the
but
most
then
offensive
also is
part.
right about. Like it bugged me that he was like, was like trying to smell things from really far away, and also use echolocation, which like barely any blind people can do with a lot of training. It's like this is garbage. This is
really
it's in
messed up.
It's in a movie where a squirrel gets sucked up by a Roomba and turns into a flying magic squirrel. So like, I get that someone might be able to ask for a suspension of disbelief, but when those are real misconceptions about blind people, bad. You have done a bad thing, Flora and Ulysses.
You've just opened up, you've just given bullies a playbook, basically,
Seriously.
with this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
For any
Terrible.
blind kid. Like, it's awful.
Yep.
Bad. That's bad.
That's bad.
We can all agree.
Yep.
That's
Bam.
bad.
We're stamping it.
Yeah.
So
That's my hang up on the movie. Otherwise, it's a goddamn
I honestly
Otherwise, I had a great time.
Yeah.
Great time.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
a lot of fun.
Ben Schwartz absolutely carrying his weight. But, so I think if we're explaining this to aliens, I would try and avoid the blind child as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Well, and in talking about communicating with the squirrel, we'd have to be like, so whatever this technology is we're using to communicate now, we don't have that. And we didn't have that.
Whatever you've brought us.
I
we
didn't
don't
even
have that.
think about that.
Yeah, because how are we talking? Unless they've learned our language
Right.
or we've learned theirs, I guess.
Well, that would be the only way we could be explaining it to them.
Yeah, unless they had
Unless there's some
Babelfish
sort
or
of
something
device
like
that they had.
So
Yeah.
honestly, they would actually probably get that the fastest
Yeah.
of anything.
They'd be like, oh, sure, yeah, no problem.
But I guess we just have to be like, they'd be like, so can squirrels fly? Well,
There are flying
Yeah.
there are
squirrels.
flying squirrels, but they don't actually fly.
It's like, and are there
They just sort of
superheroes?
glide.
And it's like, well, yes, like, but not really.
Mythologically
but like,
speaking.
yeah, but we have lots of them, and they're really important to us, but they don't exist. But we did
Yeah.
make them up. Like, oh man, what a fun thing to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, then it also introduces family dynamics. It introduces human reproduction, because here's a mommy and a daddy, and there's a child.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
how that works.
That's huge. You know, we always
That's-
forget.
it's so
We
huge.
always forget about how to use the movie that the aliens demanded we put in the DVD player to explain human reproduction. We always forget.
Yeah.
that. And I think it's a
We always
really
do forget
nice
that.
way to work it in.
Yeah.
Put that in like parentheticals with this context, please.
For this concept. How to explain this movie and human reproduction to aliens.
with this movie, via this movie.
Okay,
We
I
must
see.
use something. How do we? The context becomes, how do we explain human reproduction to aliens with this movie?
With this movie, yeah.
Yes, okay. So if that's the context, how do we explain this movie to human reproduction to aliens with this movie?
I mean, I think you got it. It's the sex
Yeah.
scene. Did
The
you-
sex
I watched
scene?
the the Snyder cut of this movie, so I got the real
The
good
4-hour cut of
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So much.
We should, maybe a context is like, what's the Snyder cut of this? What's in the Snyder cut of this movie?
Actually, that is a good idea. It's
Yeah,
similar
but then you
to
both have to what? Like I said,
it's similar to not George Lucasing this movie, Peter Jacksoning.
Oh, Peter Jackson.
But
Yeah,
instead,
it is
it's
pretty
speculating about what was in there and got cut out, which is a little bit different.
Yes.
It is a little bit
Yes, it is different. It's technically different. It's as different as the someone imagining it and the unreliable narrator.
Yep.
Which I realized when we were doing Coming to America, listening back to it, I was like, oh, we kind of did the unreliable narrator thing with a couple of the characters, but that's fine. It was speculative. It's fine.
fine. It's fine.
No one noticed but me. It's fine.
So, I'm trying to think of other things that would be really confusing about. I guess the institution of animal control would be important to address.
Yeah.
Because they have an outsized amount of a role in this movie. Like they seem like a big deal. And they are
really
not
strange.
that. Like
No.
it's not, that's not it. Like we don't have bounty hunters that like chase down
do their-
squirrels that theoretically could have rabies. Like that's not a thing we have. Dispel the myths about animal control from this movie.
they do their work in the shadows in real life. I never see them.
Exactly.
Seriously. Yeah. Danny Pudi played that role in such an interesting way because there's like two versions of that villain in most kids' movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's the really cocky, intense one who's just like really scary, but the kids overcome him and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the complete bumbling idiot who is just a goofball and the kids treat like shit and it's funny.
A hindrance
kinda
rather
trying
than
to
a
do-
threat. Yeah.
he's trying to do both.
Yeah.
Where he seems like really calm and put together, and then all these foibles happen, but they don't really like make him go crazy in the way that a lot of villains in kids movies do. Right. It's just sort of like he's just having a tough day, but he's fine.
His ego takes a bruising.
Yeah, that's about it. And it's just kind of an interesting choice. It is. But aliens wouldn't need to know about that.
No. They wouldn't need to know about that.
Oh, this one's not for you, aliens.
I think honestly that kind of covers most of what I'd be worried about, because they probably would have experienced most of the rest of it. If not already, they will if they keep talking to us. There's not that much wild shit besides here's what a squirrel really is, here's what a blind person really is, and here's what animal control really is. Those are like the big three.
And I guess cats.
Oh shit, yeah, cats. Oh, because it really misrepresents a lot of things, huh?
I mean, it's a kid's movie. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Not every cat is Joan.
This is what it's like when you sell comic books at a comic store. This is what it's like.
I have another weirdly specific thing that it misrepresents, which is overnight stocking shifts at the place where oh gosh, what's his name? George, I believe.
Bobby Moynihan?
Yeah, George. Where George works. He works at Binders Keepers.
Which delightful.
Amazing name. Good job. Way to go. Which is just like Staples or whatever the fuck. And when he works the overnight shift, it's dark. There's no lights on.
Well, and he's by himself.
Like,
that's
which
not
OSHA
how
does
that
not
works.
like.
No.
And he's not apparently allowed to like play music over the PA, so he has to like find a stereo and hook it up to the intercom system to play it. And I was like, is he pretending to have this job? Like, does he actually work?
That scene was clearly a punch-up because you think about it, there's literally no setup for that scene. He's in this store by himself. He's an hourly employee, as we know. He got this job like on a part-time basis. Mm-hmm. So he's not like, he doesn't have keys to the store.
No way.
He's not like, he's got no one else there. He's there at an indeterminate amount of time where he has enough time to do just a ton of weird artistic shit.
A lot.
And like, so, and it's fun and I love it. Sure. It's a great sequence of just Ben Schwartz goofing around to some music. A lot of fun needle drops in this movie. But yeah, very confusing from a logistical standpoint what is happening in that scene.
And I think that's really important to explain to aliens. It's like, listen, overnight stocking shifts are not this unsafe, and they are well lit, and employees are allowed to go to the bathroom, and like we want to make sure that we represent our corporations correctly to aliens. Make sure that
that's the most important thing. Yeah. Aliens have to understand that corporations are people, my friend.
My friend. That's good. I'm glad.
Anything else we would want to tell aliens about this movie? Okay, so that's no. Let's move on to another context.
No.
Okay, let's start another context. Because, boys, the question we need to ask and answer, is this Die Hard? So, folks, the question we are trying to answer with this context is the film Flora and Ulysses actually the film Die Hard? So what do we got?
Gotta be.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's more to it than I think a lot of the movies we do.
Honestly, yeah. I think you're right. I think there are actual people walking on broken glass in this movie. And that is more than we can say for any other movie.
When do people walk? Wait, when is someone walking on broken glass?
After they threw the chair through the window in the restaurant.
Oh, right.
There was a bunch of broken glass on the outside, and people walked on it, and I thought, oh, this is Die Hard. In that moment, I was like, oh, there it is. It's Die Hard. And then Bruce Willis was there because I took the They Live glasses off, or I put them on. I don't remember which way it goes. The scales fell from my eyes, and Die Hard was there.
Maybe Bruce Willis was in the Snyder Cut version of this movie.
Yeah, exactly. They cut his whole character. It's like 2.5 hours of material.
Zack Snyder's Flora and Ulysses.
And what's funny is he was actually the manager at the Binders Keepers, and that's why it made no sense that there wasn't another person there helping him with the overnight shift. So it all makes sense. It all checks out.
I get it. Okay. That tracks.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the
that's
most
case closed
pivotal
as far as
scene.
I'm concerned.
Well, okay, but no, but like genuinely,
Yeah.
here's marital strain,
Perfect.
like a separated married couple, right there, boom, right from the beginning.
Boom.
Guns, like the tranquilizer
two,
gun
yeah.
that he's shooting off a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Lots of
that's
people
right,
get
he's
shot.
got two. Yeah, Ben Schwartz especially.
He gets shot a lot of times.
Who has to jump off of a roof
Oh,
at
you're
one
right.
point?
He
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like Authority is the villain is one of the villains of sorts who cause all the ruckus.
The ruckus. True.
Arrakis.
So who is the Hans Gruber? Who is the villain, like this terrorist of this movie?
That's the tough one. That's the one that I'm not connecting perfectly. Everything else is 100% Die Hard, but then I can't. Like, I almost feel like the squirrel is, but I know that can't be. He's not the terrorist. But like, who is? It's not.
Who's the
It's not
terrorist?
Miller, Danny Pudi's character.
Unless he is sort of like see, this is they did say he did have that newspaper headline that he was looking at about him being a disgraced.
He was demoted as a
like
park ranger or something.
Right.
But he did work for animal control. Like, he wasn't rogue. I like the narrative that he didn't actually work for anyone and that he had just like stolen his outfit and was like a deputy, like a Dwight Schrute type. Like, that would work for this movie.
Well, I was thinking of it in terms of like Hunt for the Wilder People, like the woman who works for social services, but like gets a fucking tank at one point.
Gets a tank and a jeep.
It's like he just goes like way overboard on his job to prove a point. He could kind of be both.
I think it's like a blend between him and Allison Hannigan's character up to a point.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty diabolically evil at a certain point.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she just doesn't get what's going on, and
she's mean for most of the movie.
She's mean
most of
a
her
lot to
comments
the
are
kids.
mean.
Yeah. She just seems like she's having a hard time. I did actually really appreciate the scene where she's like, nobody cares. And I was like, aw, Allison.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, up to a point. Up to a point in the movie, and then...
No, exactly. Yeah, but for like the first 3/4 of it, it's like, just get out of the fucking way. Let this girl and this squirrel do their thing.
Yeah.
Allison.
Her name being Phyllis was an interesting choice to me. Like,
that is an interesting choice. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, they didn't say her name very much, but like George and Phyllis being the parents of Flora, it's like, these are some antiquated ass names for some 30-something-year-olds, like 35-year-olds. Like, that's a weird choice, bud, but okay. George and Phyllis.
I think that also a corollary here. I'm torn between whether Kate Micucci as the waitress at the diner or the journalist who interviews Allison Hannigan is more analogous to the TV news host who goes to Bonabadelia's house and tries to harass the kids, her kids, during the whole terrorist like hostage situation thing.
Interesting
for ratings.
I mean, I would guess Rita, the waitress, a little bit more, because I feel like she's really milking it. Like, the amount of times she said rabies on air, and like it was like, and then it was on my head and it gave me rabies, and then it ran over there and gave someone else rabies. It had so many rabies.
That's true. She's very sensationalist. That's true.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah, really blowing it out of proportion for attention.
So would we say who is John McClane? Because I think there are three strong John McClane candidates. You've got Flora and Ulysses, of course, but then you've also got is it George?
George,
her dad.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's maybe more of a Reginald L. Johnson character because he's initially out. Like, he's initially totally disillusioned because his whole, like, scene, he fucked up in the past and his job just didn't work out. But he's suddenly reinvigorated to help again because of this strange situation.
Yeah, I think that's good. But Flora's been in since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. George is basically every character but Hans Gruber in this movie. because he's the Argyle, because he kind of drives him around. He's
and he's a little bit John McClane because, like I said, he does the thing on the roof. He also does that whole DIY art project, which is kind of like when Bruce Willis kind of like DIYs some weapons together before he gets a machine gun.
Yep. He's the Reginald L. Johnson. Like he's
just everywhere.
Everything.
He's just jumping around. That's good. That's good. That's
roles. Wow.
And so then I think, as weird as it is to say, I think Bonnie Bedelia could either be Phyllis or the other woman from George's apartment building who helps them out. I can only think of her as Nancy McNally from The West Wing.
Dr. Meacham, I think it was, something like that.
Yes.
I don't remember if Meacham is right. Yeah, Dr. Meacham.
That's right. She's like, he's like, I've got a doctor in my building, and I can't remember what kind of doctor she was, but it was not the kind that works on squirrels.
The kind that works on squirrels. My favorite thing about Dr. Meacham is that when they present the squirrel, when they say, "Look, it's Ulysses. He's cool, and like maybe he got hurt, but like he has some fun powers," she listens to him understanding human speech and just says, "Oh, he has the power to understand." Like that's the reaction to, "Oh, that squirrel knows how to talk," is, yes, he has the power to understand. Like that's a category of a thing a squirrel can have.
Well, it's there's a lot to go into the squirrel
rules.
powers, but
she rules.
All right. We gotta narrow down some ways that it's not like Die Hard.
Oh, you're right. That's true.
Just for the sake of fairness and accuracy in reporting.
I don't think there were very many tall buildings.
No, the buildings were relatively small
They were all
until the
pretty
end of the movie when Ulysses looks out over the city.
That's true. But that was more like an ending shot. Like nobody went in those buildings. Everybody's buildings that they had were houses or like 2-level apartments at most. Pretty manageably high buildings.
Did they say what city that was?
I don't think
it's
so.
supposed to be kind of anywhere USA kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. No, it wasn't iconic or important to the culture. New York was not a character in this movie.
I like the idea that like someone who lives in whatever city where they filmed this hears you say that and they're like,
yeah. Like it wasn't important or good or cool in any way. It could have been.
In fact, I thought it was very ugly. This city.
It was filmed.
And the people
in
who live there are
porta
probably
potty,
stupid.
It struck me as the kind of place where people I hate live. Yeah.
But that's not what we're saying, listeners. If anyone's from that city and can identify it,
I guess. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Generic.
And listen, we all live in bad places.
Ooh,
That's just America.
Hey, I would say that's a way it's not like Die Hard, right? Like Die Hard has iconic, specific locations, right?
That's true.
It's using places that are named, not just go to the. I mean, where do they even go?
Well, I mean, pretty much the only two places in Die Hard are LAX and the Nakatomi Plaza building.
Real places, though.
Well, I don't think the Nakatomi Plaza building's a real place.
Not anymore. They blew it up.
But so yes, you're right. There isn't really like a singular iconic location like Nakatomi.
Yeah. They
for
go
them
all
to.
over the place.
I guess the diner is as close as they get to that.
The diner,
which is saying something. The diner.
Yeah,
And
again,
I can't even
very
remember the name.
generic.
It did have a name that
Yeah.
I remember finding kind of amusing, but I cannot remember what it was.
Something about donuts. I don't know.
I think it was donuts and stuff.
There was some donuts and stuff. Who's to say?
Who's to say? I
mean, I can't think of any ways it's not like Die Hard.
Well, we still haven't settled on a John McClane.
Yeah.
Who is it? Are we splitting John McClane into two and having it be both Flora and Ulysses, or are we saying that Flora is John McClane because she is a normal person in extraordinary circumstances who has to sort of like use her wits and her association with this weapon of this super-squirrel to get through, or are we saying that because Ulysses, as the hero of the story, who does a lot of the heavy lifting physically.
Yeah. Well, and he's also a stranger among all these people, and he's saving them. But there's one person that he actually cares about that he's trying to save.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Wait a second. Shit, maybe George is John McClane because he is trying to get back with Bonnie Bedelia.
That's the thing. He's every character.
He's every
He's
character.
everyone.
He's everyone except Bonnie Bedelia. Yeah, that's true.
I think that was actually how they pitched the character of George. They were like, hey, what if in this kid's movie you were every character from Die Hard?
He's everything you want. He's everything you need.
That song really takes me back to a real good place. One of my favorite songs
Right?
of all time.
Is that true?
No,
That sucks.
God, oh God,
No, that's
jeez, no way.
for real. Like, it's not a time machine song for you. Like, it takes me back.
it's a
It
time
definitely
machine
takes me
song.
back.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not necessarily
It's
to
not
like a
good.
nice, yeah.
Oh, I don't like the song, but I can think of the era and think of everything but that song. That was great.
See, for me, it takes me back to middle school, and that's a dark memory. For various reasons we don't have to talk about. But that made it sound way darker than it really was.
It's just all the reasons why none of us want to talk about middle school.
Exactly. It wasn't anything more than that. I don't remember. I may have repressed some things. What matters is, I think when we weigh up the evidence, we might have watched Die Hard this time.
Yeah, I think we accidentally watched it.
I think I'm pretty positive we did.
We keep doing this.
Yeah.
We keep meaning to
I'm
watch
sorry.
other movies and then ending up watching Die Hard.
I'm sorry, guys. We were supposed to talk about Flora and Ulysses, and listeners, we just let you down.
Yeah.
We watched Die Hard instead. Our mistake. Our oopsies.
And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying with the frickin' thumbnails is you never know what you're clicking on these days. It might have a squirrel on it. It might have John McClane
Yeah.
on it. And you click on it and then it plays something for you and you sit there for an hour and a half. And you don't know what
comes
you
around
watched, but
again.
it was probably Die Hard.
Yep. So sorry, guys, we did the wrong movie. But since we're here, let's do another context. What is the true meaning of Christmas according to this movie? Speaking of Die Hard, what is the true meaning of Christmas according to Flora and Ulysses?
Wow.
This one, because it's like a children's coming of age movie, probably has more like true meaning of Christmas
Yeah.
vibes than a lot of the ones we get this for. Certainly more than The Matrix, I think.
That movie feels a lot like a jingle jingle ho 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 to me though, so I get it.
Yeah, it's like a jingle jingle ho ho, just like you said.
Like I
David.
said, those are the two kinds of genitals.
A jingle jingle a ho ho.
Yeah. And an oatmeal
Also my
cream
two-
pie. Sorry, I forgot.
I
about
was
that.
just going to say my two favorite kinds of hostess.
I think that the true meaning of Christmas, according to Flora and Ulysses, is about. I'm trying to think of like the right way to sum up the moral of the movie, but it feels like it's got that if you love something, let it go vibe to it, and I don't necessarily know how that connects to Christmas because I don't feel like those messages are necessarily compatible beyond the inherent anti-consumerism, which I don't think this movie is like don't have stuff. Like it's not really about that.
It's pretty. I mean, it is kind of weird that like everyone who is a good guy is someone who doesn't work just a normal 9-to-5 job,
Ooh.
and then the people who do are kind of just like either all dicks or just seem miserable.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is fair. And I'm not saying it's not true.
Yeah, because, I mean...
Because we all get it.
Hey, aliens, this too.
In case you're wondering, we all do still live under capitalism. But that's not unfair
Yeah.
Yeah.
as an observation. I wonder if there's a certain message of equity to the ending too, because a lot of the film is mostly just trying to justify the ability of this squirrel to exist and to continue to live.
Yeah, true.
To be able to show like, hey, this squirrel deserves to live. Now, they do that through this squirrel is exceptional. So if I'm tracking it through that metaphor, that's not great.
Right.
So maybe I should just abandon this particular interpretation.
Speaking of the Snyder Cut.
Wait, is that a thing in the Snyder Cut?
No, I'm just saying it's a Snyder thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, that is something from the Snyder Cut, yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, is if you do make that argument, it ends up being exceptionalism, and then that ceases to be good, and in fact is harmful equity.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so let's
So not that.
not do that one. Not that one. Also because of the blind kid.
Friendship cures you of anything that might make you funny and bad. That's what Flora and Ulysses is saying.
Friendship cures blindness.
I mean, like, being together with your family.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes.
That's, like, a very obvious one that's not super fun.
No, but it's there.
But it's also, like, it's not, yes, but, like, if you add to it, it's, like, be with your family, but also, like, your family can accept each other, like, can build each other up, can encourage each other, and give each other the ability to hope. Because actually, this brings me to a point that I wrote a note about and completely forgot about until now, which is this is one of the rare kids movies that directly addresses cynicism by name.
Yeah,
like it does not have subtext about it. It just makes it text. It's like, kids, cynicism is wrong. I mean, it shows like where cynicism is healthy. It's like observe, don't, whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like, obviously they will confront cynicism, but they don't just like call it out.
No, they don't say
They're not
it.
like, you're too cynical. But it's like, no, this is about a character who believes that cynicism is the only like true philosophy at this point. She's very philosophical about it.
Yeah.
And yet, she's able to overcome that by the end of the movie through seeing hope return to
it's okay
her
to hope.
parents.
Yeah.
Maybe it's okay to hope. Maybe, things can be hard, but if we encourage each other and build each other up, and the people closest to us, we support them. I think really the biggest step in the relationship, one of the biggest steps in the relationship between George and Phyllis is less the moment when Phyllis asks him not to give up on her, but more the moment that George offers to be there for the interview that she's worried about, because that's him fully supporting her in a very practical way of saying, like, you know what, we're not in a great place right now between the two of us, but I support you, I want you to succeed, and I'm going to be here to encourage you in whatever way I can. And really builds her up, and then she is able to then she turns around and is able to do the same to him, to just encourage him to get back into his creativity. And so encouraging people you care about to pursue what they want, or to at least accept the things about themselves that other people might not appreciate, as much. They're creative people who do things that may seem like low art. That is an interesting George is a comic book creator that doesn't have any successful comic books. Phyllis is a romance novelist, and Ulysses does fridge poetry.
Yeah, he does. Oh, it's so good.
Wait, but Phyllis won a Jack and Rose, so
That's
don't forget
true.
about that.
The Jack and Rose.
The Jack and Rose. But I still argue, both of those are very besmirched genres. It's like, oh, you're an artist. Oh, you're a writer. What do you write/art? And if it's comic books and romance novels, people are like, oh, you're that kind of artist. You're a hack. You're a genre writer. That's not real writing. Definitely. Both. But
they're able to encourage each other and make it better for everybody.
Wow. So yes to that. Yes to the idea of sort of telling the people that you love that they should do what they want to do to make them happy.
Sort of positive reinforcement, I guess, or just sort of just support the people you care about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. It feels like a great idea, but if I sat you down and I was like, the true meaning of Christmas is to support the people that you care about. I feel like that's it almost feels like too much work for Christmas.
Well, but charity like is a huge thing on Christmas. Like, so supporting people like acts of service. That's huge around
Yeah,
Christmas. People are
okay.
Always kind of having that.
So
on.
like actively supporting them around Christmas. Yeah, okay.
And what
I
what
love
is
that.
giving someone a gift but saying, like, you deserve this?
Yeah.
I think you're good. I care enough about you that this is a thing that has value and you deserve to have it.
Yeah, or like, there's some people that are exceptionally good at giving gifts that are like, I know that you're into this thing and I want to get you this that helps you with that thing.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. So if we do incorporate the gift giving, absolutely in that vein. Yeah.
And that works in the reverse too, because then you think of the expression, it's the thought that counts. You know, that's you encouraging someone who is trying to support you in that way. And even if the gift ends up not being very good, then it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for thinking of it. Like, that's supportive. That's
Even if the interview actually went really bad, he was there to support her, and that mattered.
Yeah.
Even
And that
though it
mattered.
really
She clearly was very emotionally moved by that, and I think that's
wow.
yeah.
I think the other thing from this movie that has a Christmas ring to it, so to speak, that Carol vibe, is Dr. Meacham delivering the morals of this movie, of course, as side characters in kids' movies are wont to do, especially older, saying the, like, it's the people you turn back to. Like, that idea that she tells George and be like, oh, it looks like you turned back to her or something. Like, I don't remember exactly what the phrasing was, but it was like, I'll always like come back to you, or I'll always turn back around to you, or something like that. Being like, you know who your family really is. Go back to your family. As kind of a weird moral that does sort of fit with like traditional family holidays.
That's true.
Of like, hey, remember those people that you might kind of not like right now, but are sort of ride or die, maybe a little? Maybe you should go back to them a little bit. That's nice. Like, I feel like that's a little less exciting, but a lot more realistic of the true meaning of Christmas is going, yeah, y'all are pretty good. All right. Gotta turn. I turn back sounds so wrong. How does she say it?
Yeah.
It's like a big part of the movie. Like,
Buddy, you are dancing on your own. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to this question.
oh well.
Let's see. Is there anything else we can think of?
True meaning of
I mean,
Christmas.
in a way, it is about the birth of a super being.
Yeah.
So,
True.
Which is kind of what Christmas is.
No, I like that. No, that's good. It's about the response to the birth of a super being, too. The true meaning of Christmas is seeing Ulysses, recognizing him for the gift that he is, and following him and learning from him. Not just being like,
God.
cool, that's great,
Like-
but I'm going to keep doing whatever the fuck I want over here. No. You pay attention to that Ulysses. He's important.
Yeah, and he
What
writes
is Christmas-
beautiful psalms.
It's true, he does.
He writes beautiful songs.
What is Christmas but, you know, Christianity's origin story? It's
Precisely.
a superhero origin story that we all hear every year.
Jesus begins.
Jesus.
Oh my God. God's not dead for the beginning.
Oh my God.
A Christ Nolan picture.
Starring Christian Bale.
There it is. We solved it. That's the true meaning of Christmas according to Flora and Ulysses.
Yeah, I think we got it.
All right, I think we got that one. Yeah.
And I think we also
Yeah.
covered Start a Religion about this movie.
Well, let's not get into that a little. Yeah, that's true. Guys, we've been having a lot of fun here today.
Yeah, we gotta
but I
get
think we
serious.
need to pump the brakes. I think we need to grow up. We need to be more responsible and take a turn to the nitpicky realism corner. For Flora and Ulysses.
All right. Strap in. It's going to be about 4 hours.
This movie?
Yeah. Nitpicky realism corner for Flora and Ulysses. You guys, squirrels can't talk.
Ugh.
Well, this one couldn't either. You could type.
Shit, you're right.
But squirrels can't type.
Squirrels can't type. I mean, squirrels can
That we
type.
know of.
They just can't type intelligibly.
Yes.
They can run around on a keyboard.
Oh, sure.
All day.
I could run
All
around
day.
a keyboard.
Oh, there's-
And I don't know how to type.
Yeah, I don't know how to type. I gotta learn. Cursive, baby.
I like the idea of someone who can't type but only writes in cursive.
that's a fun character.
Yeah, it's Benjamin Franklin, basically.
Oh man, what a classic character that B. Franks.
That classic Dickensian character, Benjamin Franklin. So okay. What the fuck is that robot? They
What
don't
is that
ever
robot?
circle back to that robot,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird.
Here's the best
since
part
it-
about that robot is that it was like obstacle detected. Drive a little more. Obstacle detected. And I'm like, cool, it's a vacuum robot. This is a funny joke. Those are relevant-ish. Like, great. You've put a product in here that some people think is funny simply because it exists. Amazing. Great. Good script. And it bonks around, and then it starts saying things like adapting, evolving,
Yeah.
upgrading. And I'm like, wait, no, you don't just get to self-determine when you get to gain sentience and become powerful. What the fuck?
Well, and like, where did it come from? Did they say where that robot came from?
It was
I
from
feel like they
inside
had-
their house, from their neighbor's house. Because the lady was running around yelling help
Right.
and trying to chase down this robot that had run away from the house to go
What
evolve.
is this goddamn robot?
It looks like a real big Roomba that had plans. And I want to know about the Snyder cut of that robot and where it was going and what it was going to do.
I can't be too mad about that robot, though, because it did lead to one of the best lines in the history of film. This is what Bond was showing me earlier, which is after that happens, and Flora is sitting and talking to Ulysses. She says, "Hey, you got sucked up by a vacuum. Maybe you could be a superhero." Followed by, "No, you're just a nice squirrel."
You're just a nice squirrel.
That
so good.
killed both of us when that
No,
happened,
God.
so I had to
You're
write it
just a
down.
nice-
We specifically paused it so you could write that down, and then she said, "No, you're just a nice squirrel." And you're like, "God damn it!"
Yep, so I typed that too.
That is true hope. True hope in the face of cynicism.
Yes. It's you got sucked up by a vacuum.
You could be a
Maybe you could be a superhero.
Oh, it's so good. So that's slightly unrealistic, but not.
Slightly.
But the unrealistic part of that is the vacuum misbehaving. Very, completely understandable. We all know the old get sucked up by a vacuum, become a superhero routine, especially if you are rodentia and you are able to get sucked up and then spit back out. Obviously, CPR on a squirrel, easy to do. Everybody knows how. It's perfectly safe. So that wasn't a problem. I'm glad they represented it correctly in this movie.
And I'm not sure that a squirrel would taste the way that she described the squirrel tasting from giving it mouth to mouth.
No, I don't think so. More like M&Ms. Not more like M&Ms.
You think a squirrel would taste more like M&Ms?
I think so. Yeah. I think
Okay.
I hesitate to say I know so because, I'm just I
Because you don't want to reveal too much
just
about
have
your personal
reserves.
life. You want to keep an air of mystery for the crowd.
Exactly. I got to keep my enigmatic nature. Who knows if David knows what squirrel tastes like?
Not me. I'll never tell. Let's just dispense with the superhero aspects of the squirrel. We all know that's not realistic.
But
we can
but
all
that's
suspend
fine.
disbelief
Like
sometimes.
the movie does say that's not realistic. Like it's like if we just watched if we watched a superhero movie and we were like, but people can't fly. Bonk. It's like, yeah, of course they can't fly.
Yeah. Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Bonk.
Ba-bum, ba-bum. As we all know. Ba-bum, ba-bum, bonk.
Or pa-pa-pa-pum.
Or
We were just talking about Christmas.
This is all circling back around.
The old drummer boy, but he had a big old kick drum instead, and he went bonk, bonk, bonk. And everyone was like, actually, you can stop, please. This sucks. Like,
This
Jesus
is a
doesn't
newborn
want to
child.
hear
He
this.
needs to rest.
Yeah.
So The tranquilizer darts really gave me some pause. Because I've played enough Metal Gear Solid to know that if you shoot somebody in the neck with a tranq dart, they are going down fast.
Yeah.
They're not going to be running
They're
across
not climbing a
rooftop.
ladder and running across a roof and jumping.
No matter how hilarious it is.
It's
so
very
funny.
hilarious.
And that, it's just so fucking funny.
It's just so fucking funny, guys.
Just wanted to
But no.
squeeze
what
this in the
happened?
face, but it couldn't happen.
There's a lot of phenomenal physical comedy in this movie.
That's true. But the best physical comedy is hyper realistic. I've always said
as we
this.
all know.
I've always said this. Simulative physical comedy is what we crave, baby. Give it to me exactly like it would happen.
I miss the days of like Charlie Chaplin.
Oh
and-
my
and
god. Clocks
Buster
falling
Keaton.
on people, so realistic.
So real.
Slipping on banana peels, kill me with that. It's so good. A pie in the face,
I'm sorry, hang on.
kill me with that.
It's so
Show
good.
me that
It's
clip
so
to
good.
me, and it will kill me because it's so good. Kill me with that. It's the opposite
with
of
that
miss
clip.
me with that. I'm making it up right
It's the
now.
opposite.
Kill me with that. Don't miss me. Kill me.
Hit me.
Hit me. It's like hit me, but
hit
like
me.
way
I
more
want you to do it.
intense.
I want you to do
Yeah,
it.
stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Hit me.
Rack 'em up, rack 'em up, rack 'em up.
Rack 'em up, rack 'em up, rack 'em up.
I have one.
Yes, do it.
I think that, again, like we said, pretty realistic movie. Except one thing that did bug me, besides the lights being off, him being in the building by himself for an overnight stalking shift, which was him doing jack shit. Really, that part of it bugged me, but for a different reason than this one. Again, I love it when workplaces in comedies are realistic. It makes them so much funnier. When it's just like a regular store. It's so fucking funny. And when he puts all those pins in the guy and he makes him look real cool and everyone is there from corporate and they're like, what is this amazing display? And then he's like, it was me. I'm quitting though. Haha, fuck you. And then he runs off. And immediately after that, the like CEO of Binders Keepers
Or whatever he is.
fires the middle manager for no reason. All that just happened was he
I did
came
love
say
that,
no
though.
reason.
and he was like, "Oh, there's a display. That's pretty cool." And he was like, "Yeah, this guy did it," and that guy quit. So the middle manager's fired.
Well, it's because he was gonna fire the guy that was about to get all those jobs to put the display up in other places. And so that showed that he had bad management skills.
Oh, yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's why he was fired.
Okay, sure.
It was justice.
Sure.
It was
No.
it was deserved justice.
Thank you.
I
That
mean,
makes
it was
total
the
sense.
ultimate
You're right.
example of a telling off of a boss in a movie is that you tell off a boss so well that they get fired.
They get fired on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the ultimate walkout, though. If you walk
Yeah.
out and say, I quit, and then the person that wants you to not quit gets fired, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And that is a fantasy, so yeah, that is not realistic.
That's true. It's not realistic
the way
at
it
all.
works. No, that person would probably
No.
get promoted for creating the ultimate toxic workplace.
Yeah.
Like, oh, people want to
Honest-
walk out? That's great. That means you're doing an awesome job.
Honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen anyone do the quitting on the spot thing
No, I
in
haven't.
any of the places I've worked.
I haven't.
And I've worked at like a lot of
I
retail
have.
and temp jobs, so it seems like I should have seen.
Seems likely, yeah. I can do that for you
Yeah.
someday if you want.
Thank
It's intense.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it is. Like, it probably sounds like, oh, wow, cool, but it you know, I don't
It's just like, oh shit, I still got to work here, but I'm like really on board with what just happened.
like solidarity, but little kind.
Yeah.
I need to pay rent. Sorry.
That is really tough on the people who still have to stay around and work after that.
Yep.
Yeesh.
Yep.
Here's one.
Yes.
How on earth and with what
How on earth?
did the cat? Yeah, here. That should be every time we bring up a new one. We should have to start it with "How on earth" and then you say
Okay.
that as the
All right,
jingle.
I like that. I like that.
It's like a cool morning show with shock jocks
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
it'll get a soundboard.
how on earth
How on earth?
did that cat punch Danny Pitty's character in the ball sack? Because that happened. The cat was all over him as he was coming down the stairs from the apartment, and it was getting and scratching, and it was hitting, and and they were fighting, and it was before the pool, and then I assume that this is Danny Pudi making this decision. He decided to pretend the CG cat had hit him in the balls and went like, oh, and like bent over as though he had been kicked by a human man. How did that cat do that? How'd that happen?
I guess if he's holding the cat out in front of him, the hind legs kick out. I guess that could happen.
I don't know.
Is it time for another Ask Joan segment?
I think so.
Get some headphones on, Joan.
over
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
You can always test it with Joan. Have Joan kick you in the balls.
She is really good at doing things only when they hurt me that I ask her to do, so I think that's a pretty good idea.
I mean, she's full on, like, on my lap, walked across and just stepped right on him.
Yeah.
But that's like the weight of a, and I mean, let's be fair,
Yeah.
Joan's a big lady. And
You're not in the room, are you, Joan?
no, she's gone. And when she puts that peg right down, that will hurt. But it's not like he was laying down, receiving the weight of a cat upon one foot.
Yeah.
That was a punch or a kick of some kind. How?
But if it was the back legs that kicked out, cats are leapers, so there's a lot of power there.
Yeah, okay. I could imagine, especially given the right angle and the right precision, that it would hurt him in such a way.
Yeah, but it's a weird choice to have
It was a weird choice.
that be the thing that happened.
I mean, there were a lot of moments in this movie where they asked the actors to carry a lot of, hey, pretend an animal's on you. That happened a lot in this movie. Because there were squirrels on people and cats on people. Way too much for there to not actually be them on them and it be very obvious that it was not on them because they were like, get away from me, squirrel that is somewhere. It felt a little like a bad choice.
These poor DuckTales actors.
That's true. They had almost the entire cast of the new DuckTales.
Yeah, all the kids are in it.
Yep. So good. Those poor
Adorable.
DuckTales.
Those poor DuckTales people.
And any other nitpicky realisms?
Well, that's not a word, so there's one. I'm sorry. I honestly did get annoyed by that weird newspaper article that came out after that interview. I was like, what a weird fucking
that's
headline.
a really good one. Like, because wasn't it just like, hey, this romance novelist appears adrift or like seems unhinged or something?
But it's like it literally the reason she left is, it looks like you haven't really written that much. Which, number one, we know she has.
Yeah, all those books around the whole thing. She wrote all those. They pointed that out.
But even like in terms of this book, we've seen her writing multiple times. She said that she's running out of synonyms. She wanted a synonym for steaming.
Yeah.
Another
and
word for it.
she's used a different word a bunch of times. She has material. It was not
clearly she's written something. But the implication that journalist takes without listening to her say the opposite, she just is like, oh, so you haven't really written anything, have you? And then just fucking leaves.
And then goes and writes a hit piece.
About this romance novelist who, like, why?
Why indeed?
It's some serious punching down by the newspaper. It's not unlike there are all these like A-listers that got nominated for Razzies this year, but then Lauren Lapkus got nominated I think twice.
For Wrong Missy?
Wrong Missy, yeah. One for like just solo and one as like worst couple with David Spade. And it's just like it's me, like she just got to do a movie. Like that's
that's not fair.
Yeah. No. But it's like it's a similar like that's just mean. It's just mean.
Yeah, come on.
That's mean.
Come here. Yeah, that's a good nitpicky realism corner, and it's also just a nitpicky like, why represent journalism like this?
Yeah, like that always drives me nuts in movies. It's one of my least favorite things, especially in kids' movies, that they make journalists look like complete shitheads for no reason. And it's like, yes, of course there are shithead journalists. We're not going to disagree about that.
Right.
But like, show kids what a good journalist looks like, because there are those. And they need to grow up knowing that there are those, so that they aren't the kind of people that don't trust any reporter. Because so many of those assholes on the internet these days are causing way too much trouble.
Yep.
And you know what? That's why my favorite kids movie, Spotlight.
I was just...
I guess it is about kids in
It
a way.
is about kids.
It's a kids movie.
Yeah, it's as much of a kids movie as the movie Kids.
Shit, you're right. Oh no.
Oh,
Bad.
Good thing there's not a hell or else we'd be going.
Good thing.
Oh, goodness gracious, boys. Any other nitpicks that we can think of off the top of our heads?
Not off the top of me noggin. We already covered that squirrels can't type.
Right.
Well,
Squirrel can't type. Squirrel can't fly. Squirrel can't lift van.
Squirrel can't.
Whatever. Squirrel can't.
Man can CPR squirrel?
Man
Yes,
can CPR
definitely.
squirrel.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But
okay.
squirrel may not taste like girls say squirrel taste.
Yeah, that's the real problem with that scene.
Yep, that's the main issue.
I just have to. I don't know if it's a nitpick, but I have to kind of. I think we just need to dwell in and enjoy the scene where Miller, Danny Pudi's character, is sitting at his desk, and he looks at that target that's squirrel shaped, and one. I guess this is a nitpick. The squirrel in it has a nutcracker, like an actual
didn't
little
notice that.
nutcracker to crack a nut, which squirrel don't need. Squirrel crack
Yeah,
nut
squir-
with face or teeth or rock. Like, it's fine.
Squirrels can bust their own nuts.
Yeah, they can bust it up whenever they dang want. And he looks up at it and he says the line, "I'm better than a squirrel." And that was a line that really got me. It's like, I'm better than a squirrel. Like, that was the dialogue that was going on in his head. Not, can I catch this squirrel or not, but is that squirrel better than me? And
I did appreciate that he
was,
was like such a terrible shot.
yes, and that was what I was gonna say. Is there's no way that he should have been as disappointed as he was after he shot, because he literally shot to the right and left, like 90-degree angles, and then was disappointed that he didn't hit the squirrel that he was staring straight ahead at. It was amazing and very funny. Like, absolutely a good joke.
Yet he nailed every shot
Yeah.
at
Did.
George.
He did.
Well, but he was aiming for the squirrel every time.
Was he every time?
Okay. Well, maybe not every time.
I thought he was going after George at a certain
No,
point.
yeah, he
just-
was
I
shooting
think
George.
on the roof he was
was
kind of just
definitely
shooting
shooting
George.
George.
You're right.
Yeah.
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 And he nailed it.
He did. He's like a...
So he has
Kind of.
inconsistent.
yeah.
You're right. That's a good nitpick.
Yep.
Good nitpick. Ding.
Ding. How on earth?
How on earth? Well, folks, we did it. Hey, boys, we made it through another episode of Contextual Deviants. Hey, we talked about Flora and Ulysses
Wow,
in ways
we did.
that no one else ever has or probably ever will.
That's true.
Such as, what is the true meaning of Christmas according to this movie?
Is this movie Die Hard?
We explained it to aliens.
And we nitpicked some realism, I guess, is the way to phrase that.
We sure nitpicked some realism.
Thank you. This has been a lovely time. We hope you all have enjoyed listening. We've got some plugs here. David, do you have anything you would like to plug?
Plugs. Those really cool ones from Europe that have like the angles and they look kind of like triangle plugs.
Yeah.
I really
those
like
are cool.
those.
Those are good plugs.
I've always thought that other countries have cooler plugs than America. Just like the metric system rules and the standard system sucks an ass. And
Well, that's fair.
and then like I think like big earrings like that you put in like to stretch your ears out. I think also
gauges?
I just
You like
want to well like but specifically the ones that you put in that are thick and full and like filled in, those plugs too.
Sorry, David, do you like having something thick and full plugged into you?
Yeah, inserted.
Thank you.
It's nice.
Thank you.
It just feels nice to have in there.
Yeah.
David always has the best plugs.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I just like I do a lot of I Google the word plugs every single week, and I just look and see what's
Plugs
there.
example.
And I look at them and I talk about them, and then and now we're here where I'm the expert on plugs. I don't know what to
Plugs.
tell you.
You're the
I put in
plugspert.
the 10,000, 100,000 hours or whatever Malcolm Gladwell.
You put in the
wanted me to do.
10,000, 100,000.
I put them in, just like I put the plugs into my ears.
Bob's your uncle and Dave's the plug boy.
Bond, plug me.
What?
Can you plug me?
So, David, are you not going to do your plugs?
I did them, baby. Yeah, hey, check out, and, just as one last little nice little nugget. Hypotheticast, baby. It's a show I'm on. It's pretty fun. Check it out.
That's not a kind of plug.
Yeah, I know. I snuck in a recommendation, a personal recommendation of selfishness. And I'm sorry, but that's just what you get.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bond,
You know what?
plugs.
Bold.
Do you have them?
Yeah,
Tell
plugs.
me something.
Yes. I'd like to plug the Hypotheticast.
I know them.
Yeah. Actually, I was on your Hypotheticast, the web page that you put up, hypotheticast.club.
Yeah.
And I went to your About Me section and laughed very hard at your About Me, where it says, it's better that you don't know anything about David, after everybody else got a paragraph. Although, it says, it's better than you don't know anything about David. So just heads up on that.
Oh, God, it's not only lazy, but it's also a typo. Amazing.
Yep. That you should know.
That's
We
so
can cut
good.
that part out.
That's so good.
I don't know.
No. But hey, no, everybody go to hypotheticast.club and see for yourselves, and then listen to an episode while you're there.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have a bit of pop culture to share, I don't think, this time around, because I think we've just been watching stuff that we've already talked about.
Yeah, I think we plugged Andrew Tribeca before, and we're going through on a rewatch of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So instead, I'm going to plug Going for a Walk. It's really nice. I've been kind of working hard on my mental health lately, and I was greatly encouraged to try to get outside every day, and so I've been taking half-hour walks
Nice.
Monday through Friday, and it is very nice. Gets the juices flowing, gets you feeling a little bit better about stuff,
Juices.
and yeah, butt feels nice and toy.
Juices.
That's really important. Is
That's what it's about.
you
It's
gotta
about
keep
glutes,
the butt
baby.
juicy, baby. If you don't,
Yeah,
you got,
get that juicy butt.
if you got that raisin butt, no, come on, keep it juicy.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's too dry? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's what.
reason
If your
butt, like,
butt
it
is
loses all
dry,
moisture?
and you always
Yeah.
have to keep putting lotion on your butt, but only your butt, you're doing something wrong. Go outside.
Does butt skin get wrinkly if you're in the tub too long?
I'm gonna tell you what. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it gets pretty wrinkly.
Thanks, David.
No problem, man.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, go for a walk. Christian, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, Christ. My best of 2020 playlist is still up. My best of 2021 playlist is up to, I think, 11 tracks now. It might have been at that one last episode, but listen to some good new stuff recently. The new Pompoko record is really good. The new record from the Staves is fantastic.
Ooh, I gotta check it.
It's very good. But my main pop culture recommendation this week it's a bit of an oldie, but they recently released Update 1.5 for Stardew Valley, the video game that I have played probably more than any other video game of my life. I put about 100 hours into it on the PC, and I've put more than that into it on the Switch. And now I'm back in because they added an island that you can visit, and you can create another farm. And
What?
There's like more story content.
Oh my
and like
God.
a whole bunch of shit.
Wow.
And it has taken up my time again, so that sucks. But it's also fun, so enjoy that. If you've never played Stardew Valley before, there's never been a better time to start.
Yeah. What's awesome is that I feel like that's always true about Stardew Valley. It's kind of like that old proverb, like the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and the second best time is today. It's like the best time to play Stardew Valley is literally whenever you think about doing it. And that's the best time because you should.
I mean, it's just such an incredible little game.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it was made by one dude and the fact that they keep coming out with these really substantial updates.
For free.
For several years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's beautiful. It's a tiny little masterpiece, and I love it, and I want to spread the word. If you haven't heard of it, Stardew Valley, enjoy. I think that's it for Contextual Deviants this week, folks. Thank you so much for listening. There is only one thing that we have left in the proceedings, and it's the only thing that we end the show with every time. We don't end the show in another way, except for when we have a thing after the credits like we did last week. By the way, if you haven't listened to the post-credit scene from last week, go back. It's there. Not to marvel you, but we've got some post-credit stuff.
Going to need to know that information for the next one.
Yes. We'll see if there's anything this time. You'll have to stick around to the end to find out, I guess. The last thing we have to talk about is this question that I present to my friend, David Gutchie, which is this. David, did you have any final thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
The naughty stone evaluates the noise.
Thank you for listening to Contextual Deviants. You can find more information about us online at our website, contextualdeviants.wordpress.com. You can tweet at us at textdeviants. You can email us at contextualdeviants@gmail.com. Thanks to Minneapolis' own The Bad Man for the use of their song Gun Tonic off the album Ain't Clean. This has been Contextual Deviants. My name is Christian Hagen, and have a nice day. Have a nice day! Nope.